Hey soulmates, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn how to make this shirt and shirt. If it's something you like, please watch this video to the end. This is the cutting part and I'm going to post the sewing part soon. Let's get started. I make use of 3 yards of an Adire fabric. It's an Ankara Adire fabric. You can also make use of an Ankara fabric depending on your choice. And I've also marked out our basic bodies, that is our full length. My full length is 27. I added extra 2 inches to it to make it 29. So this is it. We're marking it out here. And next I went in by 1 inch to serve as our buttonhole. Like I said, it's a shirt, and a shirt we're going to mark out 1 inches or 1.5 to serve as our buttonhole, and you make a straight line just like this. And after that, we want to mark our shoulder. My shoulder is 14, but I may add extra 2 inches, which is a 16, because each shirt doesn't have like a up shoulder, it has like a falling shoulder. So that's why you are going to add like extra 2 to 3 inches, and that will serve as our new shoulder line. And you mark it out just as you see me doing like this, and you come down with 3 inches just as you see me indicating on the fabric like this, and you make a slant line meeting the point, the outer point, just like this. And to get our armhole curve, I came down with 8 inches just like I marked out on our shoulder. Then at that armhole, I divided our 8 inches into 2 to give us 4, and I mark it out just like this. Next thing, at our chest line, you want to divide your measurement by 4, and note that when marking out your chest measurement, that 1 inches you took away for the buttonhole, you are going to start from that 1 inch. You're not starting at the main hem of the fabric, but you're going to start after the line. Then at that point, my bust divided by 4 is 9 inches, and I added extra 4 inches to it, and you make your curve just as you normally do on your clothing like this. And at the end of the fabric, or at the end of the fabric, I mark out my hip measurement. My hip measurement divided by 4 is 10, and I mark out 10 plus extra 4-inch allowance. The reason for that inch huge allowance is just because it's a free shirt, it's not a fitted shirt, so that's why it is. So at that place, after marking, I'm sure it was not visible, I went up by 2 inches. If you notice, most of our shirts, like mostly females, our shirts are mostly giving all this curvy shape, it's not straight. So I went up with 2.5 inch, then I used my curve rule to make a curve just like this, and that's all for the front part. Let's cut it out. So we want to fold in 1 inch or 1.5 inch we took for our buttonhole, and we're going to use this front to cut out the back. In cutting out the back, you want to get another fabric and make sure that when pinning down your front to your back, the down parts of the back and the front are not equal, because we're going to cut out this slanted, they're going to have the same slanted shoulder. Using the front, we're going to cut out the slanted shoulder first, then we are going to move it down for it to be equal at the end of the fabric. Just watch I'm doing, and hopefully you will get to understand it. So after cutting it out just like this, you want to remove the pin, and you're going to move it down just as you see me do like this. At the beginning of it, both the front and the back, they are not equal, because you're going to cut out this slanted shoulder. And we're going to, as we took out 3 inches away at the front pattern, we're going to make sure that the back is higher than the front with 3 inches. So I'm trying to mark out 3 inches just like this. I'm just trying to place my fabric properly and pinning it out down just as you see me doing like this. When it's difficult to pin down at first, you can as well cut it out just as you see me doing like this, and later pin it down just as you see me doing later in the video. After cutting it out, you're just going to pin it down like this. And note, we did not cut out the neck. So it's after we've pinned it down like this, after your shirt, both the front and the back are looking like this, that's when we are going to cut out the neck of the shirt. After properly pinning your dress or your shirt, we're going to mark our neck depth. I took a neck depth of 2.5 inch like this. I later discovered it was small. I'm just marking it out like this. And next, I'm just going to mark out 2.5 again at the upper part, just as you see me doing like this. And I'm just going to make a curve. But note, at the upper shoulder of it, you mark out 2 inches to make a semi curve, just as you see me doing like this. It won't be exactly that same curve following themselves. It's going to have this kind of semi curve, just as you see me doing like this. And I'm just marking out 2 inches to indicate that's correct. Then you're going to cut it out. Cutting out the neck, make sure you're not cutting both the back neck and the front neck together. You're just going to cut out the front neck first, just as you see me doing like this. Like, make sure you cut out the front neck first, and next you're just going to cut out the upper part of it, just like this. You can see how it's looking. It's not cut out together, but cut out kind of separately, and that's all for cutting out both the front and the back neck of our shirt. And you're just going to, if you've not opened up the center, you're just going to open it up just like this, and that's all for it. Next, let's cut our shirt. In cutting our shirt, we're going to cut out the front pattern first before cutting out the back pattern. So I'm just going to fold my fabric into two. You can use like 4 yards of fabric, because the 3 yards I used later was not really enough. I just had to just manage it. So I'm just going to mark out 2 inches away that will serve as our band, and the length of the shirt is 16 inches, but I mark out 17 inches plus extra 1 inch for our sewing allowance. I'm just marking it out just as you see me doing like this. Next, I'm just marking out my crouch line. My crouch line length is 11 inches, so I'm just marking out 11 inches just like this. And next, I'm just going to mark out my hip line. From my waist to my hip is 9.5, and I'm marking out 9.5 just as you see me doing like this. Everybody with their own different size chart, so please make sure you know your size chart and just mark it just as you see me doing like this. Let's mark out our basic body circumference. First of all, at the hip line, I'm going to mark out 10 inches. First of all, at the hip line, you're going to divide your hip into 4, and the answer you have, my hip is 40, I divide into 4 is 10. So I'm just marking out 10 inches for at the waist, at the hip, and also at the crouch line, and I'll make a straight line just as you see me doing like this. We're going to determine our craft circumference. My craft circumference is 26, and 26 divided by 2 is 13. So I've already marked out 13 inches. Then I'm just going to use my crotch rule to make a curve meeting the hip line, just as you see me doing like this. If you don't understand it, I have a detailed tutorial of how to cut a basic short on my YouTube, and make sure you check it out. I'm just trying to just confirm the whole measurement, and at the lap I measured is 22 inches, and 22 inches divided by 2 is 11 inches. So I'm just trying to mark out 11 inches like this, and at the crouch line you want to make a slant curve meeting the full length of your shirt like this. And that's all for the front part. And make sure that at our front part, we all know that our allowance is not being added at the front part but at the back part. So I was thinking there will be pockets, because like I said, the fabric was not enough, so I just had to just mark out pocket for people that need pockets. So at that line you're just going to take in 3.5 inch, and you're going to come down with 6 inches or 6.5 inch or 7 inches, and you're going to use your curve rule to make a curve just like this. If you want yours to come with pockets, you can just cut it out like this, and that will be as our pocket flap. And that's all for the front. And now let's cut it out. Cutting it out, you're going to get another fabric to cut out for the back part. Like I said, the back part is always bigger than the front part, so you're just going to use enough fabric for it. This is the only fabric I had remaining, so I'm just trying to just arrange it out properly to make sure that it's enough for what I want to cut. So you want to place it down like this, and you're going to use your pin to just pin it down, just as you see me doing. Properly pinning down your front part to the back part, you're just going to make straight lines that will serve as a guide for the back pattern. So I'm just going to extend those lines, the crouch line, the hip line, to the other side of the fabric, that will serve as guide to the back. And for our back, upper part for our back, because of our bum, our upper part is always higher than our front with about 1.5, 2 inches, 2.5 inch. So I've marked out 1.5 inch just like this, and I'm just going to make a slant line meeting the front part, just as you see me doing like this. You're just extending those lines out just like this. That will serve as a guide for the waist part for the back part. So I'm just marking out 2 inches at the waist side and also at the hip side. But at the crouch line, the measurement you have between the hip line and the crouch line you took at the front, you're just going to mark it out. I have about 2.5 inch, so I've already marked out 2.5 inch out. And at the point where I mark out 2 inches for the waist and also at the hip, I made a straight line. And at that point there, I'm just making a curve rule at the crouch line meeting the hip line, just as you see me doing like this. And also at the knee or at the full length of your shorts or at the lap of your shorts, you're just coming out with 2 inches and you'll make a slant curve, just as you see me doing like this. We always cut at the back part that our crouch line is not always as straight as the front part for the back. Instead, it's slanted. So I'm just using my curve rule to just make a slant curve at the back pattern. And that's all for cutting both the front and the back of our shorts. And next, let's just cut it out. So I'm just trying to just figure out all my measurements, and yeah, they are correct. And next is to cut it out. Is to open open the side of our shirt. And if your fabric is enough for pockets, just cut out the pocket flap, and that's all for cutting our basic shirts. We cut out our basic shirt sleeve, and in cutting out our basic shirt sleeve, you want to fold your fabric into four, and the full length of my shirt was 13 inches, but I marked out 15 inches. I added extra 2 inches for folding for the shirt. And next, you just want to mark out your round sleeve shirt. You're not taking exactly because it's a free shirt. I just mark out 18 inches for it, and also at the upper side I just make a slant curve as we cut our basic sleeve. There's a trick I do use when cutting my armhole curve for my sleeve. I first of all mark out 2.5 inches, just as you see me doing like this, and I come down by 3 inches at the sleeve, just like this. After marking out 3 inches, then I'll just make a straight line, just as you see me doing like this. I'm going to use my curve rule and just make a curve. Just watch how I do cut out my sleeve. Everybody have different way of cutting, but I do use this method because it seems simpler for me. I just use this as a guide first before tracing it out to a proper way of cutting our sleeve, just like this. After cutting it out just like this, we want to make a notch to determine the center of our shape, of our sleeve like this, and once you just open it, as you can see, it came out exactly the same way. I'm just going to fold in this part and just make a notch at the hem of it, just as you see me doing like this. If you watch this video to this part, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you're a returning or a new subscriber, you're welcome to my channel, and I want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting me. Post the next video on Friday next week, and this is how it came out. Thank you everyone for your love, for your support, and yeah, see you in my next one.